I thought I'd do today is about the clump style. This is a good chapter for those of you that have like a Japanese maple, Trident maple, elm or something, a mother plant in your yard, and you get all these little seedlings all the time. And of course you could make bonsai out of it, but each one of those little seedlings will take a number of years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Well, there's a kind of a fun way to get rid of a lot of them. So this is the clump style, and a modified version of the clump style we call the octopus style. And I did not make that one up. Somewhere I was reading, I said, wow, there is such a thing as an octopus style. So anyway, that's the chapter today, is on how to make clump style and how to modify it so it becomes the octopus style. Last year, I made the mistake of planting too many Trident maples in a flat. Unfortunately, everything came up, so I have massive amounts of Tridents. So what I did was to put a bunch in together. I threw in about 10 or 12 at a time. And you know, if you're gonna make the octopus style, then it should be 8. But things happen along the way, so no matter what you're gonna do, put extra. So I was going minimum of 10, maybe even 12 and some. So this is an example of one, right? And it's tied and then planted as one unit. Well, in a year's time, everything have grown. So now I can get to the next stage. So the first thing is to go ahead and remove these ties. And what's going to happen is over time, what makes the clump style unique is that this will all fuse together. So it'll look like one, yet it's maybe a half or a dozen plants at the same time. Now all these are the same age. They all came from the seed bed last year, but they do grow differently, and I think it's more interesting when you can put different sizes together. Just a side note, try to put the big one in the center, but at this point it really doesn't matter because you could still manipulate. So see the difference in size? They're all the same age. Okay. The key to this is wire. Oh my God, Hero's gonna wire. Well, sometimes it's absolutely necessary. Well, sort of necessary. So what we have to do is to wire every plant. Remember, at the end, we go back on itself and then cut it. That way you don't have the sharp end exposed. Okay, so you got to do that for all of them. I don't know about you, but I've been to these bonsai demonstrations where the guy goes up on stage and for 2 hours all he does is wire. Well, if you see one wire, it's the same thing over and over. Well, so I pre-wire these, okay? So I'm gonna make this one more of a traditional clump style. That means that we're gonna pull these out more or less straight. Kind of try to keep it looking interesting. Kind of like that. You could put some movement in it for interest. And then, so basically, this style is just like a grove or a forest, except that it has a common base. It will have a common base because these will all fuse together in a matter of few years. See? So that treat it as one unit, and then just kind of, you can manipulate that, right? So that is more the traditional clump style. Octopus, we take these branches and put extreme curves on it. Like that, right? So, see what I'm doing? Well, those of you are not familiar with octopus, I guess it may not be as easy for you to visualize, but maybe you need to take a trip to the aquarium. Go take a look at what an octopus does. See what it does, see? So you want to try to make extreme. So this style is nothing but a kind of exaggerated, common style. You know, I think this is kind of for fun. Why not? I think too many people take bonsai and life too seriously. There's no reason why we can't have fun doing some of this stuff. Of course, oh, did you hear that? It just went snap. Well, that's one of the things as presenter on stage, we gotta avoid saying, oops. We just say, hey, that's the way I want it. It was too long, so that's why I snapped it on purpose. Yeah, I've been on stage enough times to know what to say. Okay, so I think number one should be the longest, so now we'll manipulate this guy into be number one, and these will go off to the side. See? Okay, now, we could sit here and count the number. Well, octopus should have 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I do that because sometimes it doesn't work out, right? You put exactly 8 and one snaps or doesn't come out, a dormancy, then you have a funny looking octopus. Well, the truth is most people really don't care. Like a grove, you know, you start to have a number and then you don't really count, make sure that it's an odd number or anything like that. So anyway, this is a quick presentation on modifying a clump style into an octopus style. I was thinking, if you really want to avoid wiring, we have these, right? These are skewers for making little shish kebabs. So what you do is use that, right? And then I don't think it'll work as easily. I'm gonna take little clips or tie these, right? But you could see how it gets done. You could guide these with any kind of thin sticks. Okay. The number one tends to be the straight up, so we don't have to do so much of that. But you could see how we could tie these with sticks, right? And get that look. So that's another possibility. But like I was saying, it might be possible to do the octopus style, but you don't get that extremeness that you could get with the wire. Okay, before I conclude this chapter, I want to talk about the wire removal. Okay, it was kind of fun to wire it in place because you start to see the new forms coming along. But you gotta remove this. Well, Trident maples are very fast growers. So when this comes out of dormancy, maybe within a few months, you better be removing the wire. They grow so fast that he'll get embedded, and then you'll be almost impossible to remove without damaging the tree. So that was one of the reasons why I try to stay away from wiring whenever possible, but especially for like Octopus Style, it was almost absolutely necessary. Clump Style, I think there's options. But anyway, hopefully you're getting a little bit out of these chapters. And one of the things I've been stressing is have fun, people. Okay, so this is Hero saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. Well, I can't call this a bonus. It's more like Hero's blooper. The wire that I was using was the thinnest aluminum that is on the market. Well, they come in a big roll, and after like 30 years, they got kind of tangled up. So I've been cutting off little ends and, well, not the ends, but the middle, just to see if I could get this thing out of here. This is mainly why I don't like fishing. I took my kids fishing when they were young, and they said, "Dad, we don't like fishing." Well, that's because it gets tangled up. So this is Hero's blooper.